wants us to solve this pair of simultaneous equations. In order to do that, we're going to need to do a substitution. I'm going to need to substitute something from here into here. And because I've got a choice, I've got a 2x and a y, it's going to be easier to make y the subject here and substitute that in terms of x than the x term, because if we use the x term, we'd have to divide by 2, and that would give me a y over 2. We'd get fractions, which it's usually best to avoid if possible. So I'm going to take the 2x, take away y equals 4, and make y the subject. To do that, I'm going to add on the y to make it positive, and then take away that 4. So we've got that y is equal to 2x take 4. What we can then do is, when we see y here, is swap that for 2x take 4. So that, if we go from there, we've got our 4x squared, but instead of writing y squared now, I'm going to write 2x take 4 squared, because that's what y equals. Y equals 2x take 4 when these two lines meet. And that's going to equal 10. So we now have an equation just involving x's, which is fantastic. That means we can solve it. Can't solve it the way it looks. It's not set up right yet. So the next job is to just rearrange this so that it looks like a normal quadratic. So first job is to expand those brackets. So I'm going to write it out twice to make sure I don't make a mistake. I'll leave that 10 on the end there for now, but I will need to move that over in a minute or two. So expanding those brackets, we're going to get 4x squared. We're going to get take away 8x, take away another 8x, and plus 16. And I may as well now move that 10 over as well. So if we simplify all this down now, we've got 8x squared altogether, and take away 16x, I've got a plus 16 and a take away 10, so overall that will be plus 6. Now before we start trying to factorise this, just notice that they've all got, all of these terms here have got a factor of 2 in them. So if I divide everything by 2, that will just reduce things down a little bit. Notice if I divided the right hand side by 2, I'd still get 0, so that's all fine. That's still just going to say equals 0. So it's going to give me 4x squared, take away 8x, plus 3 equals 0. And hopefully this now factorises. We've got two options. To start with, it's either going to be a 4x and an x, or a 2x and a 2x. I'm just going to try the 4x and the x first, to see what we get. Now if I put my 3 here and my 1 here, which it's got to be, because 3 is prime, so it can only be 3 times 1, that's going to give me 12 x's. It's nowhere near 8. So that way round it can't be right. That's never going to get me an 8x in the middle. If I tried it the other way around with the 3 here and the 1 here, that would be the most of x's that would be 7 x's. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's wrong too. So that is not going to work. This must work then. And the good thing about this one with the 2x and the 2x is it doesn't matter which way around I put the 3 and the 1, because with the 2x at the front of both. It has to be 2 negative signs, so give me a negative term here, but a positive term here. And hopefully now that will give me 8 x's. So let's just check. That will give me negative 6 x's there, and 2 more x's there, which obviously you can see will give me 8 x's altogether. So that's the correct factorisation. What that then means is x is either equal to 3 over 2, or x is equal to a half. If you're not sure where I've got those two numbers from, what I've done is I've solved when each of the brackets is equal to the 0. So if we add on 3 there, and then divide by 2, I've got my 3 over 2, and if I add on 1 here, and divide by 2, I'll get my half. Okay? Those are my two answers for x. Don't forget to find y as well. We're solving this set of simultaneous equations, which involves x and y. So what we're going to do next is use this from right at the beginning of the question, y is equal to 2x minus 4, to get the y values from these two x values. So when x is 3 over 2, y is equal to 2x take away 4. So 2 lots of 3 over 2 take away 4. 2 lots of 3 over 2 is 3, and 3 take away 4 is negative 1. So when x is 3 over 2, y is negative 1, and when x is a half, y is equal to 2 lots of a half, take away 4, which is 1, take away 4, which is negative 3. So that's my other y value.